Hi, I'm Mark Reno, Director of the Conversion Center. I want to take a few moments to introduce our flea market ministry at Pendergrass Flea Market in Jefferson, Georgia. It is the nation's largest indoor flea market and has over 600 vendors. On average, 35,000 to 40,000 people come to the flea market each weekend, and we see nearly 4,000 tracts handed out. Several years ago, my family and I were in the area for a meeting, and we dropped in to do some shopping. An older man handed me a tract when I was coming in the front door. After looking at the tract and realizing that it was a good gospel tract, I asked around and researched to find out who had given it to me. We eventually discovered that Brother Jesse Mueller was the man, and after getting in contact with him, we, as a ministry, decided to open a booth where volunteers could stand and hand out gospel tracts. In July of 2017, I sat in this area of the food court and watched hundreds of people come in and out, and was burdened to see the dear souls given a chance to hear that God had made a way of escape, 1 Corinthians 10:13. In September of 2017, my son Stephen and I opened the booth on Labor Day weekend at a table on Main Street. All of the rows at the flea market are given names. The booth shown here is at 4th Avenue East, number 23. Luke 14:23 says, "And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled." At the time of this video, we have seen over 140,000 tracts handed out. 3 clear professions of salvation, and many contacts have been made with pastors, missionaries, and even some chaplains. We've even had people ask to pass our tracts out at their booths, as well as some Christians have come to take our tracts to other flea markets. We've had 11 volunteers from 3 different churches help us. Please pray for the $1,200 needed a month to pay for booth rental, tracts, and supplies for the workers. Please pray for the many thousands of souls who are handed a tract each month. And lastly, please pray for volunteers to help us. It grieves me to think of souls walking through the flea market with no one there to hand them a tract. I want to take the next few minutes to point out some of the details that we find at the flea market. In the morning, there are not very many people and the flea market is quiet. However, you can always buy grocery items including the best fruits and vegetables. Palm readers can be found inside and outside. There are different places to get donuts and churros, ice cream, pretzels, nuts. In fact, the Charismatics have a booth where they pass out books. One man has been selling peanuts for many years there. Another sells various Mexican delicacies. There's even a Buddhist and Hindu display. And you can get a hamburger and French fries. In the food court, there's an area for kids to play, and the food court fills up very quickly around lunch and supper times. The theme of the flea market is cows. My family and I really enjoy the Mexican dishes that you can buy there. And you can get Western wear, including hats, boots, and shirts. 65 booths sell Catholic relics and items. Rick has been a faithful servant, being there almost every weekend. Our children enjoy passing tracts out at the flea market. We have noticed that those who would refuse a tract from a man have a real difficulty trying to refuse a tract from a lady or a child. This is one of the reasons they are so successful in getting tracts out.
I'm Brian Swafford. I pastor Calvary Baptist Church in Carl, Georgia, and this tract ministry has been a really important part of our outreach. We support it financially. We also support it with people who come and hand out tracts, and it's given us a really new avenue for vision to reach people. There's thousands of tracts that have been passed out, and a real burden has increased in our church. And I think God has also blessed that. He's blessed it in the church. He's blessed it with growth in the church, growth in our people, and it's just a really great blessing, a great opportunity to reach out and to find people that you'd spend months or years if you were to knock on doors to get the number of people that we can reach here in the tract ministry at the flea market. So it's a great opportunity, a great honor to be able to serve God by being here and handing out tracts to folks as they come to shop at the flea market.
I'm Jesse, and this is Eunice Miller. We from Jefferson, Georgia. We've been in ministry over 60 years, and actually we was married 62 years ago yesterday. And we have 3 fine children, 3 fine families, 8 grandchildren, and we've been doing tracks. We appreciate Mark and all the people from the Convention Center, Conversion Center that has made this possible here at the Market Farm. I appreciate everyone, and I have a desire for every Christian to be some way or another in evangelism. And Eunice and I never thought that we'd get in tract ministry as heavy as we have. We've given out tracts for 30 years or more, ever since we've known what tract was really. And after we finished up senior pastor, we wanted something we could do that we wouldn't have to travel. And the Lord has provided and let us stay in our own, sleep in our own bed, and do mission work around the world through giving out gospel tracts. We've been coming to the flea market here about 20 years. And sometimes we through the hallways and giving out tracts, and then later we had a privilege each Sunday or each Saturday to be on the front porch. This was a real blessing. This is where we met Brother Mark, and I think we give him the gospel tract. And but here in the booth, we've been able to give out, I don't know how many tracts, but this year, in 6 months, we were able to give out more than we have any year prior previous to this time. Last year, we gave out 82,000 tracts. This year, we've already given out over 88,000. This has been a wonderful blessing to us. We often get comments and different things, and we just love to thank each one that has a part in giving and praying. One of the things that you can do for us and do all of us is prayer. Prayer will get the job done. And if you get a heart for evangelism in a way that you begin to pray, and one way you begin to pray, you'll find one soul that you know that's not saved and get a burden. The Bible teaches in Psalms 126, he before goes forth weeping. I believe that's carrying a burden for the unsaved. And so go in prayer. I pray every day for every soul in our world that's unsaved. And also I pray the same thing for every Christian, that every Christian will be a witness for Christ in some way. I know many of you cannot give out tracts. I understand that. When my wife had a hard time giving out tracts. Now she's the second best I know that gives out tracts. So we thank the Lord for that, and we encourage you to do that. But what we'd encourage you to do, begin by praying, and then a lot of you can't go that you can give. It's costly to carry on any type ministry, and it's a continued week by week ministry that is costly, and we encourage you to have a part in it any way you can. Most of all, we want to encourage you to pray and walk with the Lord. I believe every one of us needs to be an evangelistic in some simple way, and in edifying the Christian and equipping the Christian, and that's what we're trying to do. Appreciate this year, Lord laying us on our heart, and I encourage those that pass the booth to go online and get free Bible lessons, and we feel like this is going to turn into a wonderful ministry for us, and so we just thank the Lord. We just thank the Lord that my wife and I'm 86 years old. She had her 80th birthday this past week, and that's hard to believe when you're just 39. but we appreciate her and we appreciate the privilege. Again, we want to say we appreciate Mark and his family, so dedicated. It's good to meet his dad and mama and sister last week, and what a blessing that was. And we encourage you as you hear this, that you think positive of what you can do, what God would want you to do. Not think about what someone else is doing, but what God wants you to do, and then be faithful. Every Christian, if we'll humble ourselves and if we'll be faithful, God will use us and He exalt us. He exalted Christ after He humbled Himself for the cross. And when you and I humble ourselves before Him, He will exalt us and give us a victory of that. So we encourage you to be faithful, and we thank you for this time. Thank you for this privilege. And thank you for the privilege that's given Miss Eunice and I to give out gospel tract. Thank you very much.
I'm Doug Swafford from the Calvary Baptist Church over in Carl, Georgia. We help support the ministry here at the flea market, and I'm just amazed at the amount of tracts that have been passed out, and what a blessing it is. I was thinking about the other day about how much we are able to pass out here as far as the tracts go. Hundreds have been passed out. I know today, we were just talking to Brother Reno about that. I was talking to Brother Mealer, who also helps out here in the work, and he and I were talking about how a pastor could probably reach 50, maybe 100 people, maybe 150, 200, whatever it might be on a Sunday, but how we can reach 700, 800 or more, maybe even 1,000 on a Sunday here. What an amazing opportunity that is, just to be able to present the gospel. It's not our responsibility to see the work come to fruition. Sometimes it's just planting, sometimes it's just watering, but God gives the increase. And what an opportunity it is here to be able to do that and be able to pass out tracts. And I'm just really appreciative of the work, and to God be the glory.